And it's as simple as this. An unknown germ is being blown around the world. It's highly contagious and it's reached plague proportions.
Do it. It's locked.
That filmed you too.
That's stupid. This stupid thing.
All right, so we are here outside the Cleveland Clinic. The first presidential debate is about to start. You can see there's a large police presence. There's also a lot of National Guard here. Really, you would expect that there would be huge protests out here, but there really aren't. I mean, things are pretty calm right now. I'm just here with Tori as well. She's along for the adventure.
Yep.
Tori lives up here in Cleveland, so we decided to come in, go to her house and have a debate watch party.
Trump 2020! Woo! Trump 2020! They looked upset.
It's interesting. You see like random people walking around, like right here. That person almost walked in the car. Oh my God. Okay, so we've seen a lot of like Black Lives Matter people walking around, and we've also seen Trump supporters walking around just sporadically in little like small numbers. So there's some people here.
Trump 2020! I don't think Biden's gonna show. Maybe he got the Rona. Maybe when he's tested, they're gonna say he's sick. And then Kamala's sitting there saying, he's not accepting the final wishes. I looked at the Constitution. Nowhere does it say last wishes override.
Well, okay, let's think about this. Why should we respect the last wishes of Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she has been a proponent of Roe versus Wade and aborting unborn babies? Why don't we just assume that the unborn wishes of the 60 million babies that have been killed since Roe versus Wade, let's assume that their unborn wish is to not have been killed and to overturn the law that allowed them to be killed, and maybe their unborn wish is to get somebody in like Amy Barrett who's going to overturn Roe versus
Well, that's
Wade.
if she gets the opportunity to do it. She's not just going to go in there and say, oh, let's open up the book. And But, regardless, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was responsible for over 30 million babies that are dead. Okay. Still, she died. Done. I don't see why her death, I don't see why the seat is the Democrat seat. Like, why is it even political?
Well, did you hear that the Democrats are wanting to add more seats?
Oh yeah, they want to pack the court.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I played a clip on my show where Ruth Bader Ginsburg was like, oh, he had packed the court once and he had like 15 and it's like wrong, 9 is a good number. And it's like, so let's talk about dying wishes then. She kind of said, don't pack the court. So are we selectively choosing to listen to Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Like,
look, we all know that if Hillary Clinton were president right now, she would have filled the seat yesterday. I mean, they would be on it like nothing. It would be done, and the Democrats would be all for it.
It's like Okay, let's just pretend that there was another civilization out there watching us, we'd be like the Comedy Channel right now. Like, America is a joke. Like, we are a joke.
And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on many of these social media platforms. I know that they have really been pushing for conservatives to get off these platforms. They demonetize us, they shadow ban us, they use their algorithms against us. So, if you guys ever see my account disappear on either of these social media platforms that you usually watch or look for me on, you can always find me at millennialmillie.com. That is my website. I post news articles, videos. If you guys have not seen Shadowgate, that's where you can find the documentary Shadowgate. You can share it with your friends, have them go watch it on there. I know Shadowgate has been banned off basically every freaking platform practically, except for BitChute and Library. So those are like the only platforms where you can find it other than my website, millennialmillie.com, because YouTube said it was hate speech. Okay, what is hate speech about Shadowgate? We didn't talk about race, we didn't talk about gender, we didn't talk about any of that fluffy stuff. Okay? We just simply talked about the deep state. So I guess it's hate speech if you're exposing the shadow government and the deep state. Go figure. But who would have thought or guessed that they would use hate speech as an excuse to censor political speech and, speech that reveals the deep state and the shadow government? I mean, who would imagine that? Who would have guessed? If you guys haven't seen some of the old coverage that I did in 2016 for Hillary Clinton's campaign, I suggest you look it up. There's actually a playlist on my YouTube account, Hillary Clinton, I think it's called Hillary Clinton or Hillary's Carnival Circus campaign, something like that. was cut off from the outside world. I was put in a holding cell for hours and hours. I didn't even talk to anyone really until the following day. And at that point, I had found out that someone had created a GoFundMe for me. So thank you so much, Ezra Levant. Ezra Levant, the owner of Rebel Media, he took it upon himself to create the GoFundMe for me so that legal defense funds could be raised. So thank you so much, Ezra. And I do want to confirm to people that all of those funds that were raised in the legal defense by Ezra, they were released to my lawyers.
Hi everybody, it's my update. Let me just check the time. It's 11:54, it's just before midnight. I'm in the city of Toronto, but in the city of New York, Anna Slatz, our new reporter, has been arrested and detained and booked in the New York Police Department's Brooklyn Central booking office. I know this because she phoned me and had about 60 seconds on the phone to tell me what happened. That was enough for me to know that she had been purportedly arrested for breaking the curfew and that she was being issued a summons. I immediately, when the police took the phone back from her, I immediately contacted our senior criminal lawyer in New York. So, not a good turn of events, but we jumped right on it. Sounds like she'll be out in a few hours tonight, and that there will be nothing graver than a few phone calls and letters, and the whole matter will be dropped. Obviously, we have to pay for the lawyer, and he's not cheap, but he's worth every cent. Like I say, I've never seen a lawyer be so enthusiastic at 11 p.m. when he gets a phone call from a Canadian calling down to New York saying, oh, by the way, we got a little trouble. Can you help me out? Oh, he didn't hesitate. He jumped right on it, and he got straight to work, and he called me, and he reported me immediately. Frankly, I'm so delighted with how this lawyer has handled this, and I look forward to paying his bill. However, if you can help me pay the bill, which I have no idea how big it'll be, and of course there's tonight's work, and then there's the work to get the summons thrown out, and there may be other mop-up work I don't know about yet, you can go to saveannaslatz.com. And I don't know if it's going to be $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000, but it's going to be money. But that's what we do. That's what we do at the Rebel. As you know, our reporters sometimes get into trouble. It's usually caused by other people, but we defend our people all the way. And Anna's done such a great job over the past few days. She was in Washington the last 2 days, and she was in New York today. Her work speaks for itself. You can see it on our website, rebelnews.com, or we have a compilation page at stopantifa.com, where you can see all her reports from Washington. I don't know if we put up her New York report yet, but that's it for me. So it's just after midnight. I'm going to stay up. Obviously, I'm eager to talk to Anna, eager to make sure she's out of jail and A-okay, and that nothing happened to her other than a bit of a fright, maybe. I think that's how it is, but we'll only know by talking to her. And I think she's done a great job, and the least we can do is get her out of there as soon as quickly possible. So that's it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a text to, I'm just going to say, any news, because Matt, who is a family friend and advisor to Millie and her common law husband, who's just been really working all weekend. I've been in touch with him a number of times all weekend. He's trying to find lawyers. He's trying to deal with the criminal side, with the juvenile side. So much going on. He's at the courthouse. I just texted him any news, and I see him writing back to me right now. So when he's done typing that, I'll let you know what he says. Oh yeah, that's right. We got this fun video. Oh, let me just read this. Oh, thank God. Look at this. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Millie, Gavin, and Chuck all are being released this afternoon. The kids will stay with Millie and Gavin. Everybody should be reunited by dinner. All great news. Just finished speaking with the attorneys a few minutes ago. Thanks. Isn't that amazing? You just heard it live. Let me read it again. This is from Matt, I'm not going to say his last name. He's a family friend and advisor to Millie and her husband, and he's literally at the court right now. And I just texted him. I just said, any news? And he wrote, Millie, Gavin, and Chuck all are being released this afternoon. Here, I'm going to screenshot this, and I'm going to send this to you if you want to put it on the screen. There's no sensitive phone numbers on it, no. Everybody should be reunited by dinner. All great news. Just finished speaking with the attorneys a few minutes ago. Thanks. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? What a good ending to a strange and troubling story. Now, obviously, it's not an ending. It's an ending to the juvenile court. I was confused by the fact that this is great news. I want to tweet it. Do you mind if I tweet it? Breaking: Millie Weaver to be released this afternoon, along with her, and to be reunited with her kids.
Hey guys, this is Millie Weaver. I'm coming to you from the Portage County Courthouse in Ohio, and I have great news. All charges were dropped today, and the case was dismissed. So what does that tell you? The prosecutor had zero evidence, and really the way he went about dismissing it was really kind of a CYA move, where he tried to just pin it all on the supposed victim, that they weren't willing to testify and that therefore they didn't have a case, and tried to make it as though that, that obviously he's going to try to make it as though we're guilty, right? But he had no evidence. He admitted he had no evidence, and that really that tells you that there should have never been a case. So how did they get a secret grand jury indictment in order to arrest me when they never had any evidence of a crime? And their case was completely just weak. I mean, on discovery, they pretty much had nothing. It was insane. It just goes to show that this was a horrible miscarriage of justice. I believe I was targeted. I mean, my court date was literally for trial. My trial date was scheduled for November 3rd on Election Day, and I'm supposed to think that it's not political. Unbelievable. Many of you guys have been asking me about my case, and I've had to be silent about it. The judge initially on my arraignment day told me that I needed to not say that this was a government conspiracy, otherwise she would throw me back in jail. Well, here's the deal. The case has been dismissed. My lawyers are now working on getting the entire thing expunged from my record, and that should probably take about a month. But I am going to be doing a full-on video documentary on this entire thing, spelling out what happened at every precise moment, answering all of your questions in this documentary. I'm telling you right now, my arrest and what happened to me is an even bigger story than Shadowgate. It's a journalist being targeted. It's a journalist being targeted. There should have never been a case. This was, a miscarriage of justice. And today, even though the charges have been dropped, I still feel like I've been wronged, and I still feel like there hasn't been justice, because this should have never happened. And the media was able to run a bunch of hit piece smear campaigns on me. The internet is forever. Of course, all these media outlets, you saw Fox News, USA Today, all Huffington Post, all the news outlets covered my arrest. Put up there that, I did these horrible crimes and being charged with all these felonies. Let's see how many of these news organizations cover the fact that all these charges were dropped and that I was exonerated and that I am innocent. How many of them are going to do that? You see? Some people have questioned, might have this arrest helped Shadowgate? Well, yes and no. Shadowgate probably did go more viral because I was arrested. However, the credibility of Shadowgate was then questioned because who is this criminal girl that, you know, was the reporter behind Shadowgate? You know, they were able to discredit it more easily and get the story off of the actual content of Shadowgate and move it on to my arrest. So anyway, I'm going to be announcing today that I'm going to be seeking legal remedy. I feel like I have been wronged. I feel like this has been a horrible miscarriage of justice. The police essentially slandered me in their own police reports, and I am going to be taking action back because this should not happen to anyone. And I know this happened to me, and thank God I had so many wonderful supporters like you guys out there that were able to raise me a legal defense fund so that I could fight back and get good lawyers. But the financial burden that was placed down upon me and my family was designed to destroy me. It was designed to destroy me. No regular person could handle that. I mean, the fact, if I wouldn't have had that legal defense fund, I don't know what I would have done. I was financially ruined over the whole thing. I mean, I lost my job. I got fired. So much for Alex Jones, right? Sticking by people's sides and caring about fighting against injustice, fighting against the globalists, fighting against corrupt government officials, when the minute they come after me, you know, he turns his back on me. I feel really let down. I feel really let down. And I hope that many of the people out there that, you know, that took this opportunity to kick me while I was down or run the knife through my back while I was unable to face them, I hope that those people will apologize and at least cover that I've been exonerated and admit that they were wrong. And admit that they shouldn't just jump to conclusions and jump on board with the fake news narratives. Okay? We should always be questioning these movements that look like media narratives, that look controlled. We should always be questioning them. But, you know, there's those people that in your life are going to be fair weather friends, and I get it, and I'm sure all of you get it. You guys have all, I'm sure, had a moment in your life where you needed help and others turned their back on you, or you were accused of something and others, you know, went along with other people and threw you under the bus. And it's unfortunate, but I'm just so lucky that I have all of you wonderful supporters that stuck by my side and were praying for me, because today we got a great outcome, and I could not have done it without the prayer warriors out there praying for me, supporting my family. I can't believe that CPS even tried to take my kids. I mean, imagine that. A case, no evidence, a secret grand jury indictment, just scooping someone up out of their home out of nowhere for a case that supposedly happened back in April, and then they arrest you the day you're releasing a mind-blowing documentary that talks about government corruption against the deep state. I mean, I'm revealing the deep state's blueprints, and that morning, while I'm uploading, I get arrested by police, and the police are literally scrambling around like they don't even know what's happening. They're getting calls on the phone of who to arrest. They don't even have paperwork in hand. Yeah, that's totally normal. No, it's not. It's not normal. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. You know, Shadowgate 2 has come out. If you haven't heard about that yet, go to millennialmillie.com and watch it. You can also watch it on YouTube as well. I've uploaded it there. But there's no guarantee that YouTube won't pull it at some point. But please, continue to support me, continue to follow along with the Shadowgate series. There's going to be a Shadowgate 3. And in the same way that Flynn was targeted in a witch hunt, I was targeted in a witch hunt. In the same way that President Trump was targeted in a witch hunt, I was targeted in a witch hunt. This is a scary time we're in right now, where you can no longer is it just targeting people on Facebook and, you know, targeting conservatives on Facebook, but now we see journalists and politicians that are conservative or that are just anti-deep state, anti-establishment, being targeted. This is scary. So thank you again for your support, guys. I love you. I am relieved in many ways, but I'm gonna fight back because someone needs to do it. And I hope you guys will support me in my efforts to fight back against corrupt government officials and against the deep state. Thanks so much. This is Millie Weaver signing off. Okay, what is hate speech about Shadowgate? We didn't talk about race, we didn't talk about gender, we didn't talk about any of that fluffy stuff, okay? We just simply talked about the deep state. So I guess it's hate speech if you're exposing the shadow government and the deep state. Go figure. But who would have thought or guessed that they would use hate speech as an excuse to censor political speech and, speech that reveals the deep state and the shadow government? I mean, who would imagine that? Who would have guessed?
I'll give you any advice.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Of the Red Death, personalized by the motion picture screen's Prince of Horror, Vincent Price.
Corrupt them.
No, I beg of you. Mercy, mercy.
With the devil's own darling, Hazel Court.
Lord Satan, send me a demon so I may know I'm to be your wife.
And a lost, virginal angel of innocence, Jane Asher.
I want to help save your soul so you can join me in the glories of hell.
No, never.
She's a woman cursed by Satan's seneschal, whose very existence turns the white rose blood red.
Diamonds, rubies, emeralds, pearls.
Lavishly, he plants his corrupting seeds of sin, spreading living terror that not even the unsullied can escape. Nor can one who craves all the forbidden pleasures of the depraved.
Each man creates his own heaven, his own hell.
Let me see your face.
Don't blink, cause it'll be Halloween soon. And just think, this year it's on a full moon. It's a Saturday, and they're predicting great weather. Yes, they say it'll be the best Halloween ever.
I'm the queen of Halloween. COVID-19 ruined everything.
If they cancel Halloween, cause we're still in quarantine, it would make me so mad. Imagine, if you will, no costume, candy, or celebration, cause everybody's still in self-isolation. There's no trick-or-treating and no zombies feeding on brains. No dudes cross-dressing, it's all so depressing. Like any other day. If they cancel Halloween,
I will scream.
Don't let people celebrate.
That's freaking great.
Like Michael Myers with the knife.
F my life.
Can't you see?
It's my favorite night.
Oh, you think Halloween is scary? Well, try celebrating it during a deadly pandemic. I mean, first of all, you have to wear a mask over your mask. And instead of ghosts and goblins, you don't stand the ghost of a chance unless you're goblin hydroxychloroquine. But the scariest thing about this Halloween is that big, orange, fat, scary face. Who'd you think I was talking about? Don't you wanna look around and see a bunch of slutty girls dressed like cats crawling on the ground because of how much they drank? Tails, ears, and wings, too many Tiger Kings. Freddy Krueger in a sweater, Freddie Mercury in leather. Don't cancel Halloween, stay at home on Halloween.
Read a magazine,
don't stay up too very late.
be in bed by 8.
Like Frankenstein without a bride.
Just stay inside.
Can't you see
that my soul just died? I'm the queen of Halloween. COVID-19 ruined everything.
I'm ahead.
La la! All the other girls will be green with envy.
He will be the greatest broken player ever. It's alive! Jackpot! Jackpot! Double super jackpot! Super jackpot, baby! Super jackpot! Keep hitting him!
What are you looking at? I'm all wrapped up.
Good evening. Let's boogie! Extra ball is lit! Hey, I just rented this torch 100 years ago. Watch me now. Play with us. Extra ball!
So cute and slimy. Wrap those flippers around me, fish boy.
I'm out of here.
Warning, no entry without authorization.
So I gave most of this information to Millie Weaver, and she put out a report. And even though I had legal access, because I had my username and password, the minute she did that report, almost instantaneously, the website was taken down. They just uphauled the whole server.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
Who do you
Take
think is
control.
pulling Biden's strings? Is it former Obama
People
officials?
that you've never heard of. People that are in the dark shadows. People that...
What does that mean? That sounds like conspiracy theory. Dark shadows.
No,
What is that?
people that you haven't heard of.
When the first Shadowgate trailer was aired, a little-known anonymizer project called Ion 2 was scrapped. On the day of Shadowgate's release, a well-planned, targeted smear campaign by media outlets and social media influencers was launched to distract away from the subtle panic the military-industrial complex was going through in the background. While everyone was distracted by my bizarre arrest and the mainstream media's hit pieces on the whistleblowers and myself, people didn't notice that the military-industrial complex themselves started pulling pages off their websites in a mad panic.
The movie was actually about, Dynology, Jones Group International. These people are pulling their websites down. You got the military-industrial complex shutting down for a day. It was like amazing. Everybody's pulling their websites and stuff.
The web pages of Dynology, Jones Group International, Clear Force were removed, modified, and changed in what appears to be a cover-up. The day the trailer for Shadowgate 2.0 was launched, where Patrick revealed he was blowing the whistle on Leone, a military-industrial complex PSYOPs contractor, then Leone subsequently pulled pages from their website.
I resigned in disgust, having me secure a classified network with Linksys home Wi-Fi, and I'm not gonna do it. The owners owed like $4 million in back taxes. It was an article by USA Today that exposed that, resulted in Camille Chidiac attacking those journalists, and I would add a third-party investigation also determined that they used highly advanced anonymity, like you would get through Anonymizer, then turned into Intrepid.
But why? What was so dangerous about Shadowgate and our whistleblowers that the documentary created such commotion and chaos? Leone misappropriated contract funds, doesn't go toward secure routers and systems that would protect the safety of American troops right after you left and decided, I'm out, I'm not doing this. These were some of the highest mortality death rates. How likely is it that troops died because of this misappropriation of funds?
I can do you one better. How likely is it that when we left Iraq, and General James Jones, retired 4-star general, took the capabilities that we had developed, which ended up becoming ShadowNet and made commercially available, how many people actually died? How many of our troops died? But I would argue even more, would ISIS have taken over after we left?
The documentary created such commotion and chaos.
It's been the most confusing release or premiere of any movie, I think, in the history of mankind.
Which resulted in YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms banning it entirely off of their platforms. YouTube banned it, saying it was hate speech. Facebook banned it.
Hate speech? What is that?
Shadowgate was about the deep state, so I guess it's hate speech if you are exposing the deep state.
We've offended the military-industrial complex. They're a person now, so
Yeah.
you can't do that.
That is the subject matter for this documentary.
That actually looked pretty good for Millie. That made me worried that I disavowed her too soon.
So, let me get this straight. We make a documentary on how big tech is connected to the deep state through third-party contracts to distance themselves from criminal activity, and it is deemed as hate speech? Inciting violence? What fantasy island planet are these people living on? It's not like we said targeted individuals. Oops, how did that slip out? Oh well, it's already out there. No point in trying to hide it now. Targeted individuals, targeted individuals, targeted individuals, targeted individuals. Gee, I feel so liberated and free. All we want is our country back. Is that so much to ask? Apparently so, but then, we're not asking. We're taking it back, but then again, they shouldn't have tried to steal it in the first place. That wasn't very nice.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the 45th President of the United States for reposting my video on social media. It was a great honor. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Millie. You are welcome, but I should be thanking you. It was a wonderful job you did. You have been doing a fantastic job. Thank you. Also, thank you for bringing up the subject of targeted individuals. I haven't been able to discuss the subject for reasons of national security. Most Americans don't really know exactly how much trouble we are in. 9/11 was a very bad day for America. Some very bad people attacked our country and continue to attack it to this day. Many Americans have been secretly tortured by people in their own government, right here in America. The deep state is secretly using some of the same technology that was used on the battlefield during Desert Storm in 1991. Psychotronics, directed energy weapons, it goes by many names. This is treason and a direct attack on civilians. It will not be tolerated. Much of this program stems from the CIA's MK Ultra program. The same CIA who has been selling illegal drugs in the US to fund their Black Ops programs. Look up the term 5-Star Trust. It has continued for decades. All of this must come to an end soon.
I have a lot of friends who are targeted individuals. They don't discuss it publicly because there is nowhere to go to get justice. I'm sure the deep state was aware this would be the case before they ever started. They have been playing with mind control and remote torture for decades. They have murdered many Americans. Thank you for speaking with us today, Mr. President, and thank you for your candid responses.
Well, we are cleaning up the swamp as fast as time will permit. It is a very complicated task, but tell your friends that it will all come to an end very soon. You have my word on it. Thank you.
Joe Biden, read my lips. No new world order.
The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years. And grizzled ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell. Foulest stenches in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller. Ha 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 ha!